Hello everyone. Today I will be showing you how I throw my Atlatl. Um, I'll be using the same darts as in my first two videos, just for the sake of form. I won't be going over spine or how to make anything quite yet, because I want you guys to know that throwing is a very personal thing. You have your own personal style, okay? Now, the main reason for this is because of the way our bodies are designed. Our bodies are designed differently from person to person. Now, that's because of genealogy. Take me for instance. I'm mainly European, hence the really white skin, okay? But since I'm mainly European, I have different hand and arm makeup than, let's say, that of a more Native American, like a more Cherokee or Blackfoot or Crow, okay? They all have different, slightly different characteristics in the way that their body is made. Okay? Now, each person will have a different throwing style. Okay? Now, that's just because of the way your body's made. Now, for me, I cannot do hammer style. I cannot do this. My wrist locks up and it hurts my wrist and all the way up to my elbow. It causes pain every time I throw. Now, I use a two-finger style grip. Okay? So I grip it more like this rather than hammer style. Okay? My thrower is not designated one way or the other. If I could throw like this, I could throw both ways with my thrower. That worked out in my favor, because I can only throw like this. Now that is because I get more of a wrist movement. I can really snap that in there and provide more of a whip in my movement rather than with my wrist. It just stops. Okay? Now when I throw, let me get a dart. Okay? When I throw, I stand more upright. There are people that do more of a crouch, kind of like they're about to get on a saddle. There are people that stand more upright. There are people that kind of lean back before they throw. Sorry. I do a more upright stance. It just feels more comfortable to me. Now, I want to go over my foot positions. My front foot, or my left foot, points towards the target. Okay? Now, my right foot points at a more 45-ish degree angle from the target. That provides me a nice range of movement, so I can either step to the right or step behind me and continue my shot if the target were to change position, that is. Okay? Now, when I throw, I don't bring my dart up at a more proper angle. I kind of bring it down a little bit, and I bring it slightly back so I can get more of a running start, if you will. Okay? Now, the other thing I do that is different is I relax both of my shoulders. It just kind of helps me find an equilibrium, if you will. Okay? I'll demonstrate. So, point front foot forward, right back foot at an angle. Okay? I bring my thrower up. I relax. And I throw. Now, another thing to keep in mind while you're throwing is the path that your Atlatl takes, not the dart, the Atlatl. The path that takes in your movement. Because you want you want to straight, you want to kind of keep all of those three joints in line when you're throwing. If you don't do that, your dart will kind of, instead of flying directly like this, it'll fly more like that, or more like that. Okay, now those are very drastic, but it can happen that way. I'll demonstrate that stance. Okay, you throw it, you're more outside, and that dart flew kind of like this. Now, if I were to do it on the inside, which I won't demonstrate just because it hurts me, the same thing would happen, but to the other side. Now, the next thing to think about is where you're shooting at. Okay? Now, you want to preferably be shooting at either a wall, a fence, or an open lot. Now, not necessarily a lot, but more of a field type situation. Okay? Just because if you do, or when you miss, instead of having the dart just hit something that either doesn't belong to you or that you don't want to get damaged, or an animal in most of my cases, you also don't want that dart to travel too far, because if it were to hit the ground wrong, it could break. Although if you're hitting a wall, it's probably going to break too. But that's a different problem. Now, you also want to keep in mind what target you're shooting at. You don't want to shoot at something too dense, because the shaft of the actual dart does flex, and it flexes as it goes into the target. Okay? I find that old archery targets, or if you can make a old carpet archery target, those work the best. Or if you can find a block of foam, or even multiple blocks of foam that you can glue onto each other. Okay. Another thing is, what I like to do is I like to hang another target in front of the archery target. Now, I use an old plastic bottle, 1 liter or 2 liters. 2 liters if you're starting out, that'll be a really good one. Just because whenever you do hit the target, it doesn't instantly destroy the target. It kind of deflects and goes into the archery target. Okay? Or if you hit it dead on, it just kind of bounces back a little bit. The other thing I really like to shoot at is old Coke, soda, or pop cans. Okay? Not only for aesthetics, because it looks cool whenever you penetrate that Coke can, because it crunches up a little bit, but also for the sound. The sound is very gratifying. Okay? Now, another good thing that you can shoot at, you could probably get it at Dollar Tree or whatever type of Walmart maybe, is balloons. Okay, you can fill them up. You don't even have to fill them up till they're that big. I mean, you can if you want to, especially if you're just starting out. A bigger target, a lot easier, because then you can work on your form instead of so much as accuracy. So you want to do something like that, just so it's kind of rewarding whenever you do hit the target, and it kind of helps stimulate a healthy mindset whenever you are hitting the target. Okay, I apologize. My phone overheated, and so I could stop. I had to change the camera setting. Okay, now more things you can shoot at. You can shoot at foam, You can shoot at paper plates, paper bowls. I shoot at a variety of things just because I do not have a lot of money and I can't spend a whole lot of money on good targets. But I imagine that the rubber ground targets for like 22s would work really well, just because then as you each shot you hit, it moves that target around, so it changes you up. So you have to improve a little bit more of your accuracy. Okay? Now, another thing to keep in mind is the distance that you are at, that you're shooting at, or shooting from. Okay? Right now, I'm sitting at about 12 yards. Okay? I like to shoot at 10 yards, especially starting out or learning new equipment. Just that way I can really focus on my form, for one. And then another one is, especially when I have new equipment, is to test out the new equipment. Even though I know my form now, I can test that out and find its limitations before moving back and forth. Okay? So I recommend shooting at a 10 yard or a 5 to 10 yard distance, especially for beginners, just because then it helps you focus on your form before you start focusing on different shots and things like that. Okay? Okay. The other thing is, once you start getting your form down and you start throwing and you start hitting your target more regularly, is you want to switch up your distance a little bit. So I'd shoot at 5 yards, then 10 yards, then 15 yards, then sometimes even 20 yards, just so it changes me up psychologically. I think there's something psychological about it, even though I can make shots at all distances like that, all 4 distances. I like switching it up because then it messes with my head a little bit. And so I have to think about, okay, so I'm at this distance now. Now I have to bring it back a little bit further, or I have to step more into it, whatever the case may be. Okay? Now, I will show you an experiment of mine. Okay, so what I have here is an experiment I did a couple days ago. Okay, I saw these golf balls lying around in my shop, and it's been a challenge for me to make a bola, not Ebola, not the virus, the hunting implement and weapon. Okay. Usually used from stones and string. Now what it does is it is supposed to wrap around an object, which I will use this small pecan tree. Okay? But what I did is I took 3 golf balls. Okay? And what I did is I drilled through the golf ball with the drill bit that was just slightly bigger than the paracord that I had. Then I tied a knot underneath. Then I tied a knot on top so that the golf balls don't slide up and down the string. Then I made each one at varying lengths. Okay? So you have a longer one, you have a slightly shorter, and then you have a significantly shorter. And then I tied a loop and tied all of it together. Okay? Now the loop I just wrap around my finger a little bit. I'll stand back over here. Now I'm not that good at this yet, but hopefully we can get a good shot for you. Now you just spin it over your head like you're slinging, and then you want to release. Now, get it, Crookshanks. Okay. What that does is they use that in hunting or in combat, throwing it at the person's legs so that they got tangled up and fell, making it an easier target. Or you can use it at hunting, turkey hunting preferably. Take it, sling it around the turkey, then you can get right up on the turkey and take it out with the Atlatl, bow, sling, knife, whatever. Okay? But that's the bola. If you guys like that, stick around. I'll make more videos of me. I'll show you how to make that. Okay? And yeah, I will just be making fun things and show you how to use them.